the Ottomans come to dominate it, then that's why they're trying to look for a water route, because they knew that they could like keep getting the silk. They knew that they could keep getting the spices, but they needed to find a different way to do that so they wouldn't be taxed by the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so European countries, they start looking for a water route. They can get them to Asia, so they can go to India and China faster. Needed to find some way to go around the Silk Road. Okay, so that gets us to Prince Henry of Portugal. So he starts putting money into technology with sailing. Okay, Portugal has money and he's saying, let's spend this money on innovations with sailing. So they start combining this technology with some of like technologies by people that practice Islam. And so they're making like, again, improvements with sailing. We'll start looking at some of those, but they have like the caravan, for example. So by the time he dies in 1460, Portugal, then they had sailors that made it as far as the basically like the coast of West Africa. So they had sailed like Portugal's closer to the east coast. They sailed around the bottom of South Africa all the way to the west side. Okay, so with Prince Henry, main thing to have in your notes just that he funded like sailors. He funded like technology with sailing technology. So some of this specific technology that helped them with sailing, so they had the caravel. Okay, so the caravel, this is a new, faster boat. Okay, they had different sails. So the older ships, they had like these square sails, where their caravels had triangular sails. It's easier to change direction so they can turn what way they're going with these new sails. Okay, a bilge pump system, that allows the boat to float higher. So if it's floating higher, they're not going to run into like rocks as often. They're going to be able to go further in coast. Okay, so you're putting in your notes, again, sailing technology, caravel, bilge pump system. And then the bottom bullet point, these are a lot of navigation technology. So compass, astrolabe, maps. Okay, they get these from basically people that were practicing Islam, and they're able to use these to know like the direction they're going, to go the right way. Okay, so again, compass, astrolabe, maps. They're getting these from people that practice Islam. A lot of those people live in like the Middle East. So we talked yesterday a little bit about the myth of European superiority, where a lot of Europeans believed that they were like superior, and that they believed that Europeans are the ones that created everything. Like, not true. Again, Europeans, they have created many things, but they also borrowed ideas and technology from people in Asia, Africa, the Middle East. So they borrowed ideas from people all over the world. Okay, we're going to talk about God, gold, glory. So these are some of the key justifications that the Europeans used. Okay, so gold, glory, God. You can say them in any ways, but we just call them the 3 Gs. So again, these are the main motivations and justifications that Europeans used when it came to their actions. Okay, so go ahead and just put in your notes the 3 Gs, gold, glory, God. Gold, glory, God. So when it comes to gold, the Europeans, like the explorers, they want to get wealth for themselves, but they also want to bring money back to their country. Okay, so it's not just like gold. Like, yes, they're trying to mine and get literal gold, but also they're just trying to get like resources, right? So it shows like wood there, like timber. They're trying to get timber, sugar, tobacco, with the idea that they can then bring these items back to their own country, and they can then sell that and make money. Okay, so they're trying to get, again, tobacco, sugar, just whatever resources they can. And that brings us to an idea called mercantilism. So mercantilism, countries are trying to just get as many resources as they can to compete against other countries. Okay, they're trying to get as many resources as they can to compete against other countries. Okay, here's what I want you to write in your notes. So you write mercantilism, countries were trying to get more money and power. So the European countries, they're competing against one another. So for example, England is competing against France and Spain. Okay, Spain's competing against France and England and Portugal. And they're thinking, hey, if we can go and get a ton of resources and then sell these resources, if we can get a lot of money, we can then use that money and we can convert it into other forms of power. We can build big militaries that will help us if we fight against the other European countries. We'll have more people to fight. We'll have better weapons. Okay, will help us to go and get more territories. It's kind of like a wheel. Once you start spinning a wheel, it kind of gets momentum and it can go faster and faster. They viewed it the same way, whereas they start getting money, they can then use that money for more like sailing and for more like money, like more into their military, and then they can go and use that to get more resources and get more money and more land. So they had this idea they needed to basically just keep getting like resources from these other areas. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and check out this quick video on mercantilism. So with mercantilism, main ideas when we go to this slide, it's basically like governments are trying to get as much wealth as they can. Okay, so to get raw materials, they go into a new area. So that happens to be, at this time, they go into like the Americas. Other points in time, they go into Africa, they go into Asia. They're getting as much material as they can from the colony. So they basically set up a colony. With a colony, they go in and say like, okay, we're going to take over this area. We'll put in our own government. So England goes in to the Americas. They set up their own government. The King of England, he can appoint whoever he wants to be a governor in different parts of the Americas. Okay, they go in, they get products, they get like raw materials, and then they try to sell that back to the colonies at a high price. And main idea I want you to write, so look at the bottom, that part in green. So the whole purpose of the colonies is to bring wealth back to the mother country. It's to bring wealth back to the mother country. Okay, so in this system, the mother country, like it's usually a European country, so it's going to be Spain or France or England. They go into another area, okay, they set up colonies, and then in those colonies, they're able to get a bunch of resources. They're able to make native people work for them. Okay, they sell that money or they sell that product back to the colonists. And they would make rules. If you look in the middle, it says governments regulated production. Okay, it's like they would tell the colonists, you can only buy from us and you can only give your materials to us. So again, the whole idea was to just set it up for the benefit of the mother country. So England sets up colonies so that England can get richer. Spain sets up colonies so that Spain can get richer. So again, they go into these areas and they're taking like land, they're taking like different resources, they're taking wood, they're taking gold, they're taking silver, they're taking iron, and they're taking whatever they can that they can then go and sell. Okay, so I want you to just try to answer these questions. Just write them on your own paper, and then we'll talk about them in a minute.